indoor voice, so or outdoor voice. So hopefully you can hear me okay. KBI, and I'll tell you more about what ECMEC is, what East Central Minnesota Educational Cable Cooperative is later. But I'm here right now to talk about KBI as a member of that steering committee and what we've been up to. We've been at it for 3 years now, since January of 2011. We initially came together as just an ad hoc group of community members who were interested in broadband for a number of things. Healthcare, education, business, economic development, and just quality of life issues. So all of those things were important to this group of people that came together and said we ought to look at doing something in Kanabec County about this. We were fortunate enough to work with the Blandin Foundation, do a feasibility study, do a number of things, and then become a Blandin broadband community. So in the time that we've been working on those broadband community projects, we've done a number of things. We did a successful PCs for People distribution. We had 50 families in Kanabec County that received computers through PCs for People. And that was in October of 2013, and they've continued to use those, and we've continued to work with them. We have a Joint for Health project that is a partnership of our local healthcare facility, First Light Health System, and the College of St. Scholastica. And in that project, students at the College of St. Scholastica are developing continuing education and so on for the health systems rehabilitation clinicians and health management information staff, as well as the folks who are receiving that kind of care. So they're developing a series of training materials for them to help with pre-op and post-op operative education for the patients. And that is progressing, and they hope to roll that out, I understand, within the next couple of months. The community portal was another project that we've been working on, and that was just launched here about a month ago. DALA.mn, which, as Roxy was talking about, a project that they're going to be working on. This is the result of what we were working on. This community portal has an events calendar, local directory, local blogs, news and information from a variety of community organizations. And it is designed to be that one-stop shop for all things about our area, Mora area. And there are a number of partners that are working on writing content for this community portal. And it is coming along quite nicely, and we're excited about the opportunities that we'll have with that. Another project that we worked on, or are continuing to work on, is at a facility called the Life Enrichment Center, and that's a community center in Mora, co-located with the Eastwood Senior Living Complex. The BBC project that we had for that facility was to outfit it with multimedia and broadband capabilities for business use and community use, as well as for the entertainment and quality of life uses of the residents of the senior living complex. We've done a couple of really exciting things, I think, with that project. Number one, it has become a premier meeting facility in town. If any of you were at Senator Schmidt's sort of town meeting held earlier this fall, we held it at that facility. And a number of other things have been held at that facility as well. But one of the projects that we did is on December 10th, we had a community interactive video event. And we had over 60 people assemble. You can see a number of them up on the screen there. And what they were viewing was an interactive presentation led by the National Park Service. And it was broadcast live from the grounds of the World War II Valor in the Pacific National Monument. Many of you would probably more so know that as the USS Arizona Monument in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. And again, it was December 10th, so it was the week of the December 7th memorial. What they had was a presentation, included a short documentary about the attacks of December 7th, but it also had an eyewitness account. It was led by Jimmy Lee. Jimmy Lee was 11 years old at the time. He lived on a farm on the northern part of the harbor, so he had a front row seat to history happening, and he recounted all of the things that happened with that event. There was also a question and answer session with Jimmy Lee and Paul Heinz of the Park Service. One thing that they did, and part of these interactive video conferences is really good providers do a really good job of tailoring it to their audience. They knew in this case that they had an audience of adults and many seniors, and they recognized that there were probably a number of veterans in the audience, which there were, and a number of them from World War II. And so they took time to honor them and to thank them for their service, but also to give them a chance to tell their story during the presentation, which they did. One of the treats was the person you see standing, the gentleman you see standing is John Kirchhoff. He's a Mora resident, or Mora area resident, who had been stationed in Pearl Harbor on December 7th. John was asked to share some of what he remembered. And he became quite emotional as he recalled some of the events. And his daughter, who you also see standing, kind of helped him share this story. And I wanted to just kind of show you the few seconds of what happened after he was done sharing his story. And I hope the audio will work. If it doesn't, that's not the worst thing. The video will work. And that's really the important part. And what you didn't hear, if you didn't hear it, because it was coming over the audio, I can't figure technology, I couldn't figure out how to turn the volume up. But what he did is he said, first of all, he thanked him for his service, and then said, in the years that they've been doing this presentation, and they do it hundreds of times a year, to students and to other audiences, this was the first time they had ever had a survivor in the audience. And so they were as interested in his story as everybody was in theirs. And you can see the reaction that the audience had. And I think what that speaks to is the power of a shared experience like that. That's not at all the same as you get watching a History Channel documentary. Those people left knowing what that was like to be a part of history. And they experienced it together, and they had this unique experience of actually having a survivor in the audience. And when Bernadine talked about conversations, the conversations that happened in that room afterwards were as rich and as important as the things that happened during that presentation. So we were extremely excited about that opportunity. And then last Tuesday, just this past Tuesday, just 2 days ago, we did our second one, and this time it was a spring break trip to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. And we had interaction. We had almost 75 people there, young little kids and their grandparents. It was a very intergenerational experience, and they took a live dive, not on the reef because the weather and things like that. You're not sure they're going to be able to do that, but they have a ginormous aquarium at reef headquarters in Townsville, Queensland, Australia. And the diver went into the exhibit, swam around with a camera, showed people all the things, talked about all the things that are important to the reef, from the ecological pieces to the environmental pieces to all of those kinds of things. So another entire group of people got to experience what that was like. They asked questions. You know, a 93-year-old lady asked if any of the fish were edible. But that launched into another conversation about overfishing and about protected species and all kinds of things like that. It was quite an incredible experience. Now, Kate, and that's one of the other things that we've been working on, and that's just our website. We continue to work on new projects. Our new projects, one of them is the development of a telework center in Mora, and that one we are working very hard on right now. We have a location, which was the old police department in Mora, and we're renovating that for use as a telework center, as well as the Chamber of Commerce office and a conference room and some things like that, again with broadband access for those who don't have access to it. We're doing a Google site claiming. We are going to do a bus Wi-Fi. We're going to ride on the heels of Malacca and Lax County on that, and a number of other projects as well. We continue to work on our original mission. Our original mission was to bring expanded broadband opportunities to the county. We have those conversations continually with businesses, with residents, with community leaders, and with providers. looking for that opportunity to bring that broadband out to the 75% of our residents that don't live in the city and already have broadband access. We did file an expression of interest with the FCC regarding their Rural Broadband Experiments Program. We're very excited about that potential and hope that there might be some funding available there to help us kickstart something in the county. And of course, we continue to work with other counties and communities in our region in this kind of situation to explore opportunities and options on a larger scale. So that's what we're up to. Thank you, and we hope to have some conversations about that